how much harder has it become for both of your companies to compete for the best projects, the best talent, the best writers, showrunners, in a world where Netflix is basically buying up so much of that and paying top dollar?
There's a lot of people paying top dollar, and it's definitely gotten more expensive, no question about that. But talent also wants a more boutique experience. So it's not just an attribute for consumers, it's also an attribute for talent. There's a desire to have your stuff handled with care. If you go to AMC or you go to Showtime, your stuff is going to be handled with care, marketed one by one. There's going to be a PR campaign that's carefully crafted. And no question there are people writing big checks, but it is, that's a big selling point. And there's a lot of shows that have gone on to one of the streaming services and kind of disappear without a trace. You know, that doesn't happen if you go on AMC or you go on Showtime.
So we do Killing Eve with like Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer from Phoebe Waller-Bridge on BBC America, and that's a quiet show on a smaller channel.
The critics have totally embraced it.
Killing Eve grew ratings, linear ratings. It was the first show in a decade to grow linear ratings on a commercially supported service through 8 sequential episodes. That was an achievement. That was because it was elevated through public relations, through promotion, through curation, through marketing, and through its extraordinary quality. There's no question that Phoebe Waller-Bridge and company did a great job. I don't know if that would happen quite elsewhere.
I agree, and I think that Netflix absolutely faces that challenge of having too much content and trying to figure out which of their children they're going to put forward and really put some love behind. And I do think that that is a challenge within the creative community, that they have to communicate, no, you're not going to get lost. But from your perspective, the challenge on your side is that they're spending so much money, I believe $8 billion, and you're also looking down a road where Apple can come in and start spending at that level at any time that it wants to.
Right.
And so I just wondering how you think about how are we going to cope with that.
Just to give some sense of scale. This year, I think collectively, most of the estimates are the industry spending about $85 billion.
On content.
On content. Mm-hmm. About 19 of that is from the Silicon Valley companies. Netflix, Amazon. So Netflix, Amazon, Apple, and I guess Hulu is on that side for their.
You could argue either way, but yeah.
So that's but anyway, in that 19 million. So it's 85 billion, 19 of which is coming from Silicon Valley.
A quarter of it's coming.
And I think about 65 is coming from the traditional media companies, and within that 65 is sports. So that's a significant portion of it. That number's expanding everywhere. 2 years from now, it's probably 100 billion, and it'll probably be a 70-30 split. 70 for the traditional media companies, 30. So there's no question there's an arms race. We are expanding our output. I would like to be expanding our output more. I imagine that we are going to sort of
ramp up,
ratchet up in a significant way, not just like a couple more shows a year, but because they've created a consumer expectation. What do you got for me now? So we got to, we're releasing a new thing every 3 weeks. Let's get it down to every 2 weeks.
But you feel like Showtime needs to be introducing a new show every 2 weeks?
Not necessarily. I don't want to be quoted and saying it has to be every 2 weeks, but I'm just saying there's pressure to keep doing more and more. We want to grow. We see enormous opportunity. We've held.
This was the question.
I just want to give you some.
Right,
well, go ahead. You asked me a question.
Well, I'm just saying, like that. There was this huge reaction when John Stankey, the head of AT&T, now running Warner Media, made this comment about HBO. Like HBO basically sounded like he was saying HBO needs to chase Netflix. It needs to do more.
I didn't hear it that way.
And then he walked it. Well, he walked it back.
Well, there was a lot of kind of anxiety in the press. Is HBO suddenly going to become mediocre? What I heard, so that was the anxiety that people were like, oh, HBO, they've been such a stalwart in our culture for so many years. Are they suddenly going to become average by doubling their budget. What did I hear? I heard they're going to double their budget. So it didn't sound like bad news to me if I was an HBO employee.
Yeah, but at the same
they're
time-
very focused, but they're also getting that money by leaving certain businesses. You know, they just announced this week they're leaving boxing.
It's boxing, right.
Which is, I think, great for us. We have more and more kind of cornered the market on the very big fighters, and there's, you know, and HBO doesn't like. They don't like playing a game that they're not winning. They're very successful, so they're gonna focus their stuff on their scripted programming. They're gonna go very aggressively. I think they're going to be formidable. I see no reason why more money means they're going to get more mediocre.